Yeah.
Okay, it's alright. I was on a different group on Saturday, so I was just checking.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check. How do I check now?
Have you started it?
Yeah, I've started it.
Oh, right. Hi, everyone.
Sorry, you panicked me there.
I was just checking that we were... Did you go through Business Suite?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine then. You're definitely on the right one. That's okay.
That's what I only use. Can't tell me that as I press live.
Happy Monday, everyone. It's all right. Josh pressed live and went, are you on the right group? Because you know what happened last time. Well, not last time. What was it, about 8-9 months ago? I just explained to Josh, I did a live for a different group for the craft shows. And when we went live on the Monday, I was still on the craft shows. So I was just checking. We're on White Gecko, aren't we?
I hope so. Everyone's here. Everyone's saying hello.
Hi everyone. We are on the White Gecko channel, aren't we? Not page, not a different one. Let Josh know because he's like, how do I check?
You told me that as I pressed live. I was like, oh god, panic.
Sorry about that. Very chaotic start. How are you all? Hopefully you've had a lush weekend. Weather's been gorgeous, hasn't it? Still a little bit chilly, but oh, it's been so nice to feel some sun and see blue skies. It's been lovely. We've had a right busy weekend, so yeah, no, it's all been good though. All been good. We've got, who are we saying hello to first of all, Josh?
Diane's here, Linda's here.
Hi guys.
Sarah, Wendy.
Lovely.
Everyone. Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, we are on.
We're definitely on White Gecko. That's okay. I didn't think he'd pressed live already, and he was like, panic.
Oh, the notification on Facebook just came through as well. White Gecko's live.
Perfect. Cool. So we've got two things. We're going to do a draw for... So if you watched my demo on the craft shows on Saturday, we did the Spiral Bargello, which I got slightly wrong, but I'll show you that in a minute. Shouldn't sew late at night. It's my own fault. And we did a free prize draw for that one. Okay, so we are going to do that one first. So the phrase was geckos love sunshine because it was a sunny day, and everybody who said the phrase in the hour got put into a draw. So all the names are in there, and we're going to draw two. We're going to draw the first one for a kit and the second one for one of the finished table runners. So I'm going to ask Josh to pop his hand in there and pull out the first one. So this is to win a kit to make one of the table runners, and the winner is Kay Bartlett. That one's coming to you, lovely, the kit. And then we want another one to give them another good shake, and the table runner, the finished table runner, is coming to Sheila Griffiths. Okay, so Sheila Griffiths, I'm going to send you one of the finished table runners. So so I'll hang on to those ones. So congratulations to both of you two. We put that over there, out of the way, Josh. There we go. And then we've got a raffle. So sold out again over the weekend. It was colours. So getting everything all everywhere. So they've all sold out, all filled in. So we're going to draw that in a second.
Oh,
you right?
Apparently we're freezing. Apparently we're freezing up.
Freezing up?
Do you want me to switch it to...
Just switch to my data, love.
Yeah.
Switch to the data.
It might disappoint.
We're going to give it just a second to catch up, okay? I'm going to try using the data instead. We've had power cuts all round here this morning, which the lights kept going off in the shop, and could hear house alarms and all going off, mine included. So yeah, we've had power cuts. So I don't know if they're digging something somewhere.
Shall says it's getting better now.
Is it getting better now? Yeah.
Yeah, we're on your. Oop.
You right?
Yeah. So I got rid of the comments for a second, then brought them back.
Yeah. So cool. Okay.
Yeah. So we're on freeze.
Brilliant.
We're okay now.
So we're going to do the raffle, ladies. So it was all the colours of the rainbow. Lots and lots of 60 colours. They've all sold. I'm just going to go through the prize with you. So you get 5 metres of fabric of your choice and a metre of wadding. You're going to get a June Taylor pack, rotary blade and needles, White Gecko pattern and a White Gecko ruler. You get a panel, a fat quarter bundle, a charm pack, a jelly roll and 5 moon threads. Okay, so all of that, plus obviously you can choose 5 metres of fabric of your choice as well. Everything except for Liberty. Okay, so you can have a little look on the website and go for it. Okay, so let's just pop those down over there. And then I put a coin here. So Josh,
I don't know if you want to say those two names first again,
right,
just in case we froze.
Yeah, in case we froze.
Just
Sorry,
we
the
froze.
winners of the little free prize draw from the Saturday thing that I did on the craft show was Kay Bartlett for the kit and Sheila Griffiths for the ready-made table runner. Okay, so
just in case people missed those.
Just in case it went and froze up on us. So Josh, if you want to come up nice and close on here. So it was all the colours, and we're gonna scratch this one away. Need a little drum roll. Oh, where is it? Oh, hang on, we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, nice and simple. It's red. So red. There we go. Red is going to Diane Parsons. Okay, so congratulations, Diane. This one is coming to you. Thank you, everybody who took part. As usual, we will do another one. We've got some, like I said, we've had some, these have all been done for us so that we could tailor them a bit more to us. Okay, so yeah, that one was red and yeah, went to Diane Parsons. Congratulations. We'll give you a call or drop us a message and we can sort out what fabric you want. Okay, so any questions, any comments there before we get going today?
Yeah, everyone's saying congratulations, Diane. Now.
Lovely, lovely. Hopefully she's there. Maybe she's watching. If not,
I think we're okay now.
We're all okay now.
Yeah.
We're all unfrozen. Can you all
so.
listen to me waffling on nonsense? So what we're going to do today, we're going to revisit something we did a little while ago because we've had a few new people join us and some people kind of ask us about it in all as well. So we're going to touch on mile a minute, and we're also going to touch on a version of that called crumb quilting, and just sort of have a little look. It's the same technique for both. It just depends on what size you use. They're basically the same thing, but they've got different names. So I thought if we do them together, when you see, if somebody calls it a new patterns crumb quilting or mile a minute or whatever, you'll be able to sort of know that they're the same thing. So this one here is actually, this was Sarah's very first quilt, okay? We did a mile a minute class in the shop when we first started, and she hadn't done any quilting or anything before. It's actually doubled over because it's too big to put out totally. But we used all scraps from in the shop, all little bits, and she did a mile a minute. And if you look, I mean, I don't know if Josh can get relatively close to this. The joy of this is, A, it's using up all your scraps and none of this is going into landfill. But you get these really, really interesting little pieces where you get little snippets of colour, like poking out and showing through. Okay, can you see you've got all these lovely little snippets, little tiny slashes of fabric and everything. Some of them are more simple, like this one here, but then as you sort of cut into it, you get all these lovely interesting little patterns. And it's a really nice way of using up all of those scraps and stuff. You can also do this like we did the Bloom As You Go. Sorry, I just thought about this. I'm going to grab something out to show you guys. Hopefully I can remember it's here. 2 seconds, let me just see if I've got it here.
Yeah, while you do that, Diane says thanks. What a great prize. She feels like crying.
Lovely, lovely, fabulous. Congratulations, lovely. Have I got it here? Oh no, I think it might be one of the buckets of there. I'll see if I can find it in a minute for you. Okay, you can also do mile a minute straight onto wadding, just like you do with we did with that Bloom As You Go. It doesn't, that was kind of very set patterny, wasn't it? And to make that sort of floral shape. But you can do it, like I said, you can do it straight onto wadding. Okay, you don't have to do it like this. So we're going to start with crumb quilting, which is using little tiny pieces, and then we're going to do a bit of mile a minute as well. Okay, so I just grabbed out a big bag of scraps. Okay, and you can see that these are all, I mean, some of them, these are actually quite big. Those are some mini charms, but a lot of them are little tiny skinny bits that we never know what to do with, and half the time they end up just being thrown away. But the thing with crumb quilting is you are actually going to use all these tiny little diddy bits. Okay, you could do this by colour. You could pull out all just my blues and sort of greens and everything and do it by colour, or you can make it completely scrappy. It's entirely up to you how you sort of deal with this. But the whole point of crumb quilting, mile a minute, it's exactly the same really. It's using up all these tiny, tiny little pieces that we never really know what to do with otherwise. Okay, so you're just going to grab two, any two to start with. It doesn't matter if they're small, large, whatever. Okay, and you're going to, in fact, if you can put this all into a carrier bag or a bucket or something down the side of you and just pull out a piece each time, your scrappiness is actually more scrappy because you don't start auditioning pieces. Because otherwise, if you start going, oh, okay, I'm going to start with that piece there, right? What am I going to put with it? Oh, oh no, I don't like that. Do you know, you end up auditioning stuff, and that's kind of not the point of it. If you can't deal with completely random, then maybe do it by colourway. You know, maybe pull out all of one sort of tone of colour, and do it like that. However, we're going to just do some scrappy bits. So this is literally, I grabbed this all out of my thread catchers. Okay, this is all bits that were in my thread catcher. I wouldn't normally keep any of this. I would throw this away, which is a bit wasteful really, because I can make blocks out of it. You're going to grab any two, okay? So I'm going to put any two. It doesn't matter that they're not the same size. It doesn't matter that there's, different lengths or anything. You're just going to pick an end to sew it to. So these two are the same length. I'm going to stitch down there. So I'm going to drag all this over with me to the machine, because we are going to be, and I'm going to put my 1/4 inch foot on. You don't have to, but I find it easier. And we're going to sew without thinking. And this is really, really one of those lovely, mindful, just turn your brain off type sewing. I'm just going to sew any two pieces together, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, like that. I'm going to grab another two. So I'm going to grab that one and that one. Okay, so that's a funny little piece that's got a bit stuck off like that. I'm going to put them right sides together. Like that. That's a trimming off one of the Bargello ones I did on Sunday. Put any two pieces together and stitch them. Okay. They call it obviously crumb quilting because it's those tiny little crumbs of fabric that are left. Okay, so I've got a nice long piece like that. I'm going to just add a random little half square triangle I've had left over from something onto there.
Jackie says you got your baby back. Caroline asks, your sewing machine's better now?
I have. She's all better. She's all better. I had a load of thread all tangled up inside. When that thread had pinged back the other day and I didn't realise, and then I started sewing, it got all tangled up around the take-up lever. So yeah, he had to, the engineer had to like take all the casing off and untangle it. So if you've got a really long piece like this, okay, and you've put a short piece on, just grab another bit. It could be a little skinny bit, line it up right sides together, carry on sewing. Okay, just carry on sewing with it like that. There's another little bit there, random little bit of Christmas stuff. Let's chuck that one on there. I'm going to leave the salvages in. They don't bother me with stuff like this when it's a scrappy quilt. Okay, there's a little bit there. Add that one on. Okay, any questions, any comments there? What have you been up to? Did you watch Sewing Bee? I might have to put a quick spoiler alert on. Did any of you watch Sewing Bee? I'm trying to find a little piece. There we go, that's a nice little one because it'll fit just on the end of this strip. Well, because that was, what was it, last Wednesday? I haven't seen you guys since last Wednesday. So yeah, anybody watch it? I did. I also watched that new jewellery one as well, which I've really enjoyed. So I don't know who I like yet. I think the Right Person one. Again, I won't say any names in case you haven't watched it. I definitely think the Right Person went rather. And I did like the dress that was that got garment of the week as well. I did like that.
Everyone's saying yes. Karen asked, do you have to take over the Brother logo for your weekend demo?
Oh, I did, yes. Yeah, that's why it's there, because it was sponsored by Janome. So because it was a video, I forgot it was still there. I should take that off, shouldn't I? Yes, that's why the tape's over it.
Everyone's saying, most people are saying yes, they loved it.
There we go. So I'm not, chatting away, not thinking about what I'm sewing. I'm just adding two pieces together. Okay. They can be bigger bits if you want them to be, but grab a bigger bit and grab another little strip. Just keep sewing. Okay. And, you know, like I was saying, this really is the joy of Mile a Minute. You can turn your head off. If you just want to sew and you don't know what you want to sew, you know, if you just want to sit down and escape for a little bit, you know, Mile a Minute is brilliant. And it's one of those things that you can, or Crumb Quilting, it's one of those things that you can do and make a couple of blocks and then just put them aside, you know, for another time. Just, you know, wait until, you know, I've got like a little random offcut there from something. I'm going to just add that on as well. You know, make a couple of blocks, put them aside in a box, and then, you know, when you've got enough, you can then make them into a quilt or some cushions, or, you know, if you're making for charity, you know, or maybe like a dog's home or something like that, the dogs aren't going to care if it's all scrappy fabric. I mean, they're too good for that sort of thing. But, you know, if you want to just sew, this is a lovely way of doing it. I've got some little halves, mini charms and all there. I've got little bits left over from half square triangle, from flying geese. I'm just going to add that one onto there.
Suzanne says it was good. I didn't realise that was called a buffet dress.
I didn't know that was called a buffet dress either. Yeah, I quite like those. I'll add that one onto that one there, like that.
Sue says she was ambulanced off to hospital last week after a bad fall.
Oh no!
She's home now, but she's in a lot of pain, bored out of her skull.
Oh, bless you.
She says she's been looking forward to the 1 o'clock.
Oh, Susan.
Sue Halliday.
Oh, bless you, love. Well, I hope you're on the mend. Nothing too serious, I hope. You didn't break anything or anything, did you? Right, okay. Once you've kind of sewn two together like that, just give them a quick iron, okay? It doesn't matter which way you iron them, but you're just going to give them a quick iron. So, and where I've sewn pieces like that together, where's my scissors gone? No, that's not. Just chop them up like that, and again, iron them out. Doesn't matter which way you iron them, just iron them. And get yourself a little pile of sewn together pairs. There we go. So I'm just going to trim off. You know, if you were really crumb quilting, you'd even keep little tiny bits like that, and you'd sew those in. I'm not that much of a masochist. I'm not a chance. Not a chance. You know, bits like that, just chop that off there so you've got a vaguely straight line. Let's chop these ones up and this out.
Kate says she wasn't able to join the craft show on yet Saturday. She was replacing the garden fence. It was a nightmare and the garden was a war zone.
Oh no! Replacing it because it just needed replacing, or replacing it because it was damaged? Did you have like some wind damage or something? There we go. So you end up with these little pieces like that. I would just chop that bit off there like that, so I've got some straightish edges to work with.
Oh, there you go. Sue says soft tissue damage.
Oh, bless you. Oh, well, hopefully there's lots and lots of 1 o'clocks to rewatch if you haven't watched them all. Hopefully that'll entertain you a little bit. There we go. Okay, so once you've got sort of pairs together like this, see, this was that long one. There was a long piece of that, so I've just added on all these little bits. So there, chop them up like that. There we go, chop that one up there. I'm just going to get rid of those bits like that, and we can just iron these out. Okay. Now I'm going to show you two ways of doing it. I'm going to show you this way, and then I'm going to show you a slightly different way as well. Okay. I'm just going to iron these ones. Gosh, the iron's getting really hot. It's been well used, mine, the last few days. There we go. Okay. Once you've got all your twos together, you can then make your twos into fours. So I could sew that one on. I'm going to sew that one onto that one. Okay. And then I've got that one and that one, which are the similar sort of length. So I'm going to sew those two together. It doesn't matter that that's not a straight edge. Just line them up, stitch them down. Okay. That one there, we can add that on there like that. Okay. And you're just going to, you know, I would just literally pair of scissors, don't be too accurate, just chop them off, and then I can stick that one onto this one. Okay, You can just build it up. So that's what we're going to do now. Is just going to add those, make those 2s into 4s. So there we go. Again, not thinking too much. Doesn't matter if your seams aren't particularly accurate either. It is a nice one. In fact, actually, I can get another piece on there. So let's pop that one on like that.
She says, I'm glad I keep all the little bits of scraps.
So many people do. I mean, I don't. I am a bit naughty and I don't keep lots and lots of little bits. Like I said, this was all in my thread catcher. It would have gone in the bin. But it's worth sometimes, if you like this sort of thing. It might be something you might do, Josh, really, isn't it? Sort of a bit of mile a minuting, because you like the idea of, nothing going, everything being recycled and things. So
You're right.
It's
I've already made one quill, might as well carry on.
I know. Joshy made a whole quilt last week rather, for his girlfriend Carrie's birthday present. He literally all by himself. Got a layer cake, didn't you? Put a layer cake together, just as like a checkerboard design. Basted it, put it on Daphne. Should have seen him on Daphne. Literally 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I showed him how to do it. Away, he did the whole quilt on Daphne. And then bound it himself as well. He did an amazing job. She was very excited, wasn't she, lover?
She was. She's been wrapped up into it, for like most nights now.
So, yeah, he did a lovely job.
Binding things is really hard.
You didn't like the binding bit very much, did you?
I don't like binding.
No, you didn't like the binding. Like this, you enjoyed the sewing bit though, didn't you?
Yeah. I might just give myself a bigger allowance for the binding next time.
Yeah.
Eileen says she loved Saturday's session, and this is great. It's her first time on the site.
Oh, lovely.
Definitely not her last.
Oh, that's really nice of you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Kate says a bit of both. Her husband put up the fence about 25 years ago. So
so it just needed replacing, yeah. Okay, so what you're going to do now is just, again, iron these out. So we've already started to get some really interesting little things happening and stuff. Okay, and then let me iron this one out like this.
I might get Carrie to take a picture later and put it up for you, Jackie.
Oh right, yeah. I've got a little picture of him, a little video of him doing Daphne. So now Carrie's had the quilt, I'll put that up as well. She's seen him. He was just like, yeah, I'll go for it. Excuse me. So you see here where those two are longer and that one's shorter. Just chop it off. Okay, just chop it off like that. All right, and then you can add these again. So we'd add these together. So we've got this piece like this. We're gonna add, where's a nice, look, it kind of fits in there really lovely, doesn't it? So I'm gonna stitch it down to there. Okay, and what we're doing is we're trying to build up all these scraps until they're a usable piece of fabric, depending on what size block you want it to be. You could keep going and going until you can cut 12.5-inch squares out of it. You could do 6.5, which is what Sarah did on these ones. Any size in between. You could do little tiny 4.5-inch squares. If you were making like little needle cases or something like that for charity. Nice little makes, and it's all tiny weeny bits of fabric. Okay, and then right. So now I might decide. Actually, I'm going to put a bigger piece down here. So I'm just going to straighten that up, and don't think about it too much. Okay, I'm going to grab my rotary cutter. You see what I'm doing? So because this is a nice straight edge there and it's gone off on the wonk like that, I'm just gonna chop that bit off. Okay, and I'm gonna add this piece onto the side. I'm gonna give this a bit of a press. You don't have to work with this smaller piece. This works just as well using bigger like jelly roll pieces and stuff. In fact, we'll do a little bit of that in a moment. Okay, but I'm just wanted to show you how you can build this up quite easily into usable squares, and you get these really interesting like designs and stuff, and these little snippets of colour and fabrics and stuff and things.
Linda says she loves building a quilt. She finds it very therapeutic.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So and then right, so you see this isn't long enough for there, so if I chop that down like that, and maybe if we added on one of these, what we're going to do is we're going to try and get it to be long enough. There we go. So if I add that one to that one, but first of all, can you see I want to make this a bit wider as well. So I'm going to add, I chop that off there like that. And all I'm doing is kind of thinking, right, where are my straight edges? Where's this going? There we go, like that. I'm going to add, where should we put that one? I don't want that line to follow on. Should we add a bit of that one on? Or should we, let's just grab another strip. Let's grab another strip. And this is kind of the joy of this, is you think, oh, if it's not quite big enough, it's not quite the right shape, let's stick another strip in. There we go. So I'm going to add that one to that one. Kind of straighten that up a weeny bit. There we go, like that.
I didn't tell you I made an eggless cake for Carrie on Friday.
Did you indeed?
Yeah, actually went quite well.
Good. You've not done eggless before, no?
No, we haven't done eggless before, eggless cakes before.
I don't know, quilt making, baking. There we go. You see that now fits nicely on there. Okay, that's about the same size. If I put it that way, let's put it that way so those two aren't touching, and add those two together. So we've hardly used any of this scrap up already, as you can see, and I've already got pieces of fabric that are workable sizes for a block. There we go. So now I'm doing this in kind of smaller stages at the moment. I would, if you were going to make lots of blocks, I would do all my twos together, you know, and do lots and lots of them and put all those then pairs together and work it up like that. Okay, so and then if I put that piece on the bottom there like that, that's going to fit in like that, isn't it? So I can add that bit into there. And don't worry about like nesting any seams or anything like that. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't need it.
I use Greek yogurt and sour cream instead.
Oh, how bizarre.
Diane says, what about pressing the seams? Which ways, or does it not matter?
It really doesn't matter. Look, you can see there, it really doesn't matter which way they press. You could press them all open if you wanted to, press them to one side. You know, you don't want too many twisted seams, but I wouldn't worry too much. You know, it's supposed to be scrappy. There we go. Okay, so that's now relatively big enough to go on the side of here. So I'm gonna pop that one on like that, and then we're gonna cut out a block. Okay. Yeah, it really doesn't matter which way they press, because you're not worrying too much about nesting or anything like that, because hopefully, really, you don't want seams to match up. You want them to all sort of cross over and intersect. Okay, so there we go. We've now got a piece of fabric, which, could you just pass me that starch over, Josh, please?
Yeah.
And again, still loads and loads and loads. Like I said, out my thread catcher, all of this would have gone into recycling. Give it a good starch as well, because that does help. Just make sure everything lies nice and flat. Okay, like that. Okay, and then what I would do is I'm going to cut a 6.5 inch block. You can then kind of audition it. Okay, so I could cut it like this. So put whatever, you know, if you're going to do a 6.5 or 12.5, lie your ruler on top of it and audition those fabrics. Now what I mean by that is I'm looking down through the ruler and seeing if I like the placement of that. Okay, it could be you think, actually, you know, if I put that dead center, there's a lot of wastage there. It might be that I really like this little piece here, and you could put it at an angle like that, so you've got some interesting fabrics going through there. Okay, I can just about get one out of that there. Okay, in fact, actually I quite like that little section there, that tiny little bee poking out against that red gingham, or I've got that little squirrel there. Okay, so but I'm just going to cut one from this corner like that. So just looking down through the ruler and making sure the ruler is completely covered by fabric, and I'm going to go up there like that. Get rid of those. Now those are too small even for me. Okay, even for this, you get rid of those bits. Okay, don't go too far down. I'm actually going to be naughty and cut that way. Okay, well, I would have done if that had worked. But that's served me right cutting towards myself, doesn't it? There we go. Oh, I think I went over, there was when we did those measuring tapes last week with the sunglasses, there was a little piece on the table, and I think I've put a notch in this blade because I hit the little piece of metal. Okay, so you can see I've got that like that, and then I can just make sure it's definitely 6.5 by trimming that side too. Yeah, I've definitely got a nick in this blade. I'm gonna have to get myself a new blade. Josh, behind you there's another rotary cutter. Can you grab that one for me?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we've got a 6.5 inch block, all made out of stuff that was in my thread catcher, all stuff that was just going to be thrown away. Okay, this piece here, what I would do is I would trim that bit off like that, get rid of that bit there to start with, and there's the start of my next block. Don't throw that piece away, because actually I would get rid of this here. Okay, this is just lots of bulkage on the seam that you really don't need. So, you know, be a weeny bit ruthless. Don't keep tiny diddy bits like that. Get rid of that. Okay, but you've got another 2 pieces there which that you can then start building on. Okay, and you can then start working onto, and once it's big enough, cut another block and cut another block and cut another block. And that's all that Sarah did with this one when she did this quilt, was she just, you know, carried on. That's why some of them have got bigger pieces, but the trimmings then go into other blocks, and you can see that those would have been 6.5 inches before she put the sashing on. Okay, you don't have to sash them, you can just put the blocks together and it makes a really like lovely fun bright quilt, but entirely up to you. Okay, so that's kind of like the pair and pair and pair and pair method. Okay, where you put all your pairs together and then you add the other bits and you add the other bits. You can do it a little bit more considered if you want, if you don't want to be completely like totally random. And you can start with a piece. So here we go. Got after like 3 minutes it goes to sleep. I think I need to change the settings on it.
Okay, someone who's watching just put in a comment quickly just to make sure everyone can still see us.
Can somebody just go hello quickly, just so that we know we're still going. Okay. The other way you can do it is actually build it up individually, side by side by side. Okay, so we've got a little square to start with, but it doesn't have to be a square. It could be any shape. It could be one of these. Actually, do you know what? Let's start with a triangle rather than a square, just to make it a bit more interesting. And you build it up round that central point. Okay, so we're going to put this one on like that. Okay, so I'm going to add that one on. And you don't always have to put strips on. It can be, we can add, you know, half square triangles and leftover other triangles and stuff. But some people prefer, rather than just being really, really random and doing pairs and pairs and pairs, some people prefer to do it this way. So any comments, any questions there, love? Just while I'm...
No comments right now. Someone was sending like, so we're still live.
We're still live.
Which is the good news.
Gonna have to get my phone sorted out, aren't we? With this, each time I would just trim it. So I would go back to my straight line there, just trim that weeny bit off like that. And then you can grab another piece. So it doesn't have to be a little tiny piece. It could be a biggish piece like that. So that's actually, you know, quite too big. So, but this is where you would maybe audition your fabrics. Okay, and you would think, right, okay, what do I want to go on that bit there? So I'm going to use this little piece here that I've got, and I'm going to build it up on that side. So cut off a little bit like that, and I'm going to stitch down on there. All right. So, and you just, with this way, rather than it being totally random, you can be a little bit more considered, which people, if they struggle with random, kind of prefer. Any questions, comments there, lovely?
I'm just making sure these comments are working right now.
We're not sure if the comments are working. We think it's all gone a bit haywire.
Because everyone's saying hi, but I'm not getting the messages through. But luckily I can just watch it from my phone.
Watch it on the phone. You see, so I've done that. I would just trim off in line there. So just get rid of that little funny bit there. Okay, and then think, right, where do what's my next bit? Okay,
yeah, that's freezing a wee bit, but
okay. I'm really sorry, I don't know what's going on with the tech today, guys. So, oh look, that fits almost perfectly under there. So I'm going to add that bit on like that. And you just build up from a central point with this method, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, what I've been saying, that you guys have been actually getting this, because we don't know what's happening with technology today. It's playing up something terrible. Okay, like that. I quite like to leave some of the selvages in as well, because the selvages can be really quite pretty. Sometimes you get some really interesting things on the selvages, so I do leave them in. But they don't have to be teeny tiny little pieces. You can leave bigger pieces like this in and make bigger blocks. Okay, so then we'll go with another piece like that. Let's use a little bit of this. Oh,
Yeah, if anyone has any questions now, just post them and I can read them because I'm now in the comments.
Ah, right, okay, yeah. If anyone's got anything they want, guys, Josh has managed to sort of fix it. So I'm gonna add that one on. But you get the idea. You would just start with one piece and build up on one piece. Hopefully you get the idea. Okay.
Carol says just that she just found our video. We really enjoyed the show on Saturday.
Ah, lovely. Thank you for popping over and seeing us. There we go. And then that one goes on like that. And again, I would now maybe trim that piece there off and keep that bit for another one. Okay, oh, I need a new blade. I definitely nicked these blades. And then, oh, I've got a nice straight edge there. So again, I'm going to give it a bit of an iron. So you can use bigger pieces. Mile a Minute tends to use bigger pieces. Crumb Quilting tends to be those little tiny diddy bits. Okay, so I'm going to add that one onto there like that. And then I'm going to cut another block because that was nice and quick. And I've got more than enough there to cut another 6-inch block. Hopefully I have. There we go. All the way down.
Gina asks, is there a PDF pattern for the Bargello table runner?
There will be. It should be on there in the digital downloads. But we have had a few issues with the website. I will double check as soon as I get back and make sure it's still active and live and everything. Okay. So I've got more than enough there now to make a 6-inch block. So again, I would just line that up, audition the bit that I want. Do I want that little bit of salvaging? Actually, I do, because I quite like the writing in those little flowers on that. And again, with my dodgy rotary blade, because I'm just going to cut straight across that one, because I've definitely got a nick in it. I need a new one. I'm going to have to go grab one from the shop like that, and then cut myself.
Is that one going to be better?
It's all right, I've only got 2 cuts left to do, hun, but okay. Thank you.
Eileen says, at last someone who uses salvages. I think some are really pretty too. If you're using posh fabric, you can show it off. Yeah,
absolutely. I think some salvages have got, they've got some of them with a couple on here. That one's a little bit dull. There's not, nothing very pretty on that. But some of them have got like beautiful sayings and all different colours and patterns and stuff on them. So yeah, no, I think certainly with something like a Mile a Minute quilt, yeah, leave those salvages in, why not? Okay, so as from my scraps, we've got the two blocks relatively quickly. And like I said, I would then build up the rest of these, and out of what would have gone in the bin, you can make some really, really lovely, interesting quilts. And even if they're not like your best, poshest quilts, they're definitely good picnic blankets. Something you can throw in the car and take to the park with you, or make yourself, make your favourite pussycat or dog a little quilt to lie on or whatever, But they're beautiful. I think they're lovely. I really love the fact that I've just got that tiny little bee. When that's all blocked out, you've got that little bee showing through. You can have that little peacock and all. And like I was showing you with Sarah's, you've got little interesting bits that kind of, you've got 2 little ballet dancers there, which I hadn't noticed before. You've got little interesting bits that kind of peek through and stuff. Got a little pair of sheep eyes just poking over the sash in there. Look, can you see? It's like a little Chad. There's a couple of little, teddies and all there. Little tiny bunny. It's all that stuff that would have gone into waste and gone into landfill. Use it. Make to your local, you know, sort of nursing home or something like that, you know, something bright and joyful. So any questions or comments there? Lovely. I am going to throw those bits away. Those are ridiculous.
Oh, okay. So someone answered that question. It was just about delivery. Carolyn says a picnic blanket. She likes that idea.
Yeah, yeah. Sarah made a beautiful picnic blanket. Actually, she bought like a really cheapy picnic blanket from, you know, like Home Bargains or B&M. You know, it was like £3 or something, and it's had the like waterproof silver back on it and just like a plain top. So she did like a Mile a Minute type top for it, and bagged it out, so she still had the waterproof, but the top was all lovely and pretty. It's really lovely, really, really nice.
I don't think any more. If there's
Anything
any more,
else?
no more questions.
No
or
more
comments
questions.
before...
Sorry, we don't know what's going on with all this today.
There's a bit of delay between those, so it might take a second.
Yeah, Josh is having to try and read the comments off his phone, so there's a bit of a lag.
Trisha says, "Fabulous, love your ideas."
Cool, thank you for joining us. Thank you. So that's it for today. I think I'm going to go over the shop. We've got some crochet tomorrow. I'm going to show you some really quick and simple crochet daisies. But I'm also going to show you how to read a crochet chart or graph, because a lot of people, particularly if you're looking at vintage patterns, they were written in like graph form, the instructions, rather than full written instructions. And I know they confuse some people, so I thought I'd take you through that. Wednesday we've got block of the week, and we've got a brand new block. And then Thursday, Sarah is going to be doing some fabric weaving, which is a really nice technique. Really, really love the technique. So congratulations to Diane for winning the raffle, and to Kay and Sheila for the prize draw from Saturday. And we'll see you tomorrow at 1. No other questions there, lovely?
Everyone's just saying thank you right now.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Have a lovely day. Enjoy the sunshine. I'll see you tomorrow.